Hello and welcome to the Gwent N-gage podcast. Every month we'll be chatting to guests and getting young people's opinions on all the hot topics.
This week's topic is lockdown chat, and I'm joined with the lovely Beck. Hi Beck.
Hello.
Hiya. So let's get to know you a bit more, first of all. So what is your role in Gwent N-gage, Beck?
So I'm an activities worker, which is basically supporting young people one-to-one. So a lot of these young people have already got caseworkers that are supporting them with their substance use, and then they come over to me for that sort of extra support. We need to try and encourage them not to use, or like diversionary activities really, so getting them back into hobbies that they were maybe interested in before that they haven't done for a while, or trying new things. And there's a lot of this around like well-being, so trying to encourage them to look after themselves and do things that make them feel good about themselves. So that can be things like going to the gym and going for walks, or like being creative, like getting into arts and crafts, drawing, that type of thing. Like I've got young people I work with that are really into like animals, so they like volunteer like with horses and things like that. So just anything really. It's quite an open role, and it's just about exploring the young people's ideas really.
And I guess that's really important, especially in the current climate that we are in, you know, looking after our well-being and making sure that we are still tapping into those things that we can do to make ourselves happy and look after our mental health and our well-being. So how have you found lockdown?
Hit and miss. Like obviously I think it's the same with everyone, innit? Like some days are good and some days are bad. I think when we first went into lockdown, for me it was quite nice because I'd just come back off maternity and I got to like then go back to working from home and spending that time with my little girl and watching her grow up. So for me I've had like those benefits, but then there's the challenges then of like not getting to see my young people face to face, and from an activities point of view, not being able to go and do activities with them and having to find new ways of working and trying to, you know, adapt it all to online, and, you know, getting young people to do home workouts and just completely changing what we do. Normally we go out and pick them up, and now like we haven't even been able to really see any of our young people. So yeah, good and bad really.
And how have you kind of looked after your well-being in lockdown?
Trying to go for walks, but I think a lot of it was easier back in the summer in the first lockdown when it was nicer weather and you did want to get. But yeah, just trying to not be so hard on myself. I think at first it was like that pressure of like you're working from home, so you've got to be at the computer 9 till 5, and you know you've got to. Like, you know, you're learning new ways of working and trying to contact young people by phone and video call and Zoom and all that sort of thing. So it was like learning to break up the day a bit more really, and just manage it in little chunks and take time to like make sure I like have a cup of tea or have a proper lunch break or go out and get fresh air, rather than like getting to 5-6 o'clock and be like, oh, I'm even left the house. So just those little things really. And I think going for a walk and getting like 15 minutes or half hour fresh air a day really makes a difference.
Yeah, I definitely agree with like breaking it down into smaller chunks, and especially like the young people that I've worked with or am working with, that's one of the things I reiterate all the time, that even though they are learning at home and doing homeschooling, they still need those regular breaks. Okay, what would you give your number one top tip to a young person that may be struggling a bit in lockdown?
Think of something positive in every day. So no matter whether you've had an amazing day or a really crappy day, like there's always something positive that's happened in that day, whether it's like a cup of tea and a chat with your mum, or, you know, talking to your your friend on the phone, or like just actually getting like a piece of work done, like schoolwork or something like that. Like just finding like those little, like something small, but there's always a positive in every day. So just like to remember that before you go to bed, like consciously think, right, what's one good thing that's happened today, what I've done today.
Yeah, it's a really nice way to like end your day as well, isn't it? And now it's time for get to know the worker, get to know the worker, get to know the worker. Yeah. So Beck, I'm gonna give you some quick fire questions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Texting or talking?
Talking.
Favourite day of the week?
Friday.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Chocolate or sweet? Morning or evening?
Oh, I'm not a morning person, so it would have to be evening.
And if there was one meal, which would be your very, very last meal that you were ever going to eat, what would it be?
Like the whole thing, like starters, main.
Starters, main, pudding, and a drink.
Okay. Calamari. And couldn't really think of anything, but yeah, calamari. That's probably what I always have if I have a starter. And a proper Italian stone-baked veggie pizza.
Nice.
And pudding, something like one of those like chocolate bombs, you know, it was like chocolate, but then you like go in it and it's all melted chocolate inside.
Oh, the dream.
Or ice cream, or cream, anyone. Anyone in the above. And a drink would have to be a Sailor Jerry and Coke, which is rum and Coke. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on this week, Beck. Thank you ever so much.
Thanks for having me.
Lockdown and me. Our family lockdown experience last year started earlier in our house because we went into isolation before the whole country was locked down. I thought it was only going to be for around a month, so it didn't seem too bad. I enjoyed the first 6 weeks. I had time to read a book about the Cray twins, which I enjoyed, and this made me watch a film about their life. I watched so many box sets on Netflix that I lost count of how many, and I spent a lot of time on my Xbox, which was great because it gave me something to do and meant I kept in touch with my friends. The weather was beautiful for most of lockdown, and this let me get out in the garden and do a bit of sunbathing and chilling with the family. I love my skateboards and got out on it when I could for my daily exercise. I cut down my cannabis in the early days of lockdown because we all followed guidelines and I didn't get out much and it wasn't hard to cut down. But as time went on, I did get out more and slowly my cannabis crept back up. The longer lockdown lasted, the harder it got. Time started to drag and I missed seeing my friends and going out with them. Speaking to them on the Xbox was okay, but it wasn't the same as chilling out with them. This all started to affect my mental health. Days merged into one, there was nothing to look forward to, and I'd wake up some days in a bad mood for no reason, and this would last for days. I did manage to get on the college course I wanted and started in September. This hasn't gone smoothly because of ongoing lockdowns, self-isolation, and I've found working virtually from home really tough. But now there's hope that we will return to college after half term, and this can't come quick enough for me, as I know now that face-to-face is how I learn best. One positive thing that's definitely come out of my lockdown experience was I taught myself to play guitar. I'd wanted to do it for a long time following a music session I went to at the Phoenix Centre in Crumlin with Gwent N-gage, but I just kept putting it off. My new lockdown lifestyle gave me time to do it. I got myself a guitar and watched endless YouTube videos on teach yourself how to play, and I practiced until my fingers were sore. I'm now having professional virtual lessons and my tutor tells me I've got a natural talent. I'm writing my own music and I've bought myself a new guitar and my plan is to keep on playing. how amazing that young person found lockdown really, really difficult at times, but still managed to come out with a positive from it. You can actually hear this young person's guitar playing at the beginning of our podcast, because he's very, very kindly allowed us to use his music. And I definitely agree with his tutor that he's definitely got a natural talent. So well done. That's it from us from this episode. I hope you've enjoyed. If there's a topic you'd like us to discuss on the next episode, please drop us a message on our social medias at Gwent N-gage, and we'll be happy to discuss these on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.